Hello everybody, my name's Shalise. Welcome now everybody to my Vikings Season 6 Episode 15 All at Sea review. Here's the thing everybody, you know how I said in a previous episode it was like the calm before the storm? Well, the storm is here. What's happened? A whale in Greenland just caused everything to just go overboard. People are starving in Greenland. Ubis people with Voltaire and Flatnose goes batshit crazy because Flatnose doesn't want to share the food of the whale. And all just leads to all the settlers just trying to murder each other. Ube's injured. Odair saves him. And all the Ube settlers, they decide to go. And they run. They just, basically, they flee after the battle. And then the only thing you see is Flatnose just screaming, come back, King of Greenland. The only thing you see is him on a whale, his wife crying over her dead son, and a couple other people are with him who are just like dead and who are injured. It's just ultimate chaos. And Ube, before I get into Ube, the idea of Flatnose just ultimately not finding redemption is just a beautiful take. A man who wants to be, has all his ambitions, who's also trying to do the right thing with Bjorn, and in the first half of Season 6, and the second half, like, can't really trust this dude because his mind's not all fully there, and his paranoia and everything sets in, and he's just all madness again. So, Flatnose just went batshit crazy, and I just find it funny and ironic that he's never going to get his redemption. He's just going to be that crazy old man on a whale in Greenland. And never will be King of Iceland. Well, at least in the show. So, I like the storyline where it's going, and I like where Ube, and how he questions Odair about Odair's past, how Odair was able to fight. Apparently, Odair was apparently Atelstan was a Viking, and then Atelstan is a Viking. Then he took the name Odair as his origin as a Christian monk. So, in reality, we don't really know, truly, what is Odair's backstory and history. Ultimately, Odair and Uba, they go into the storm with the settlers, and they get rain, and now they get fresh, clean water, even though they have hardly any food. So, they're still stranded, but at the end of the day, they still have hope, and they still have some water left. So, that is the great stuff right there for Uba and his character. Now, speaking of other characters, and basically, this is like, it helps other characters grow, and it's the end of other characters. Oleg is dead. But not after he gets his fate renewed. He has a vision or hallucination or whatever. He sees himself as Jesus Christ being crucified on the cross and being settled down. He has his renewed faith in Christ, and he feels bad for all the bad shit he's done to Igor, to Ivar, and all this stuff. During this time, Deer, Igor, and Ivar arrive in the city, and expecting a battle, no. The commanding officers of the city give Deer, they surrender to him, and they win this entire city without a single fight. Nobody dies, nothing, except for Oleg. Oleg is not even mad that everybody is now against him and all that stuff. He's just like, we all rejoice in Christ. He's a man in a renewed faith and a new vision. And some people said this is uncharacteristic of Oleg, but how it was in Season 6, Episode 11, the premiere, Oleg was a man whose faith was shattered at the beginning. Then he became more paranoid, more cruel, and he wanted to have more discovery in his faith. And then, so to me, the idea of Oleg just trying to find himself again and losing his faith and finding himself and to ultimately die at the hands of Igor. Yes, Igor kills Oleg with an arrow, and ultimately it's just very brutal. Well, not as very brutal, it's ultimately very satisfying, and it's brutal in the sense that Oleg didn't want Igor to do it, and he said, no, Igor, not you. And I really did enjoy this episode. I really did enjoy Oleg's, and I really enjoyed what happened with Igor. Ivar leaves Rus. He tells Katya that his destiny does not lie here. He has ambition, and Katya basically, or Talia, whatever, she basically tells Ivar she's pregnant with his child, just like how Frady says she was pregnant with Ivar's child. Except she said to him, I am not Frady's, and once you realize that, you will get bored of me and you will leave. So basically, Ivar leaves a pregnant Katya, and Igor says, Ivar, don't go, I love you. And then basically, Ivar leaves with Vitzik, and Vitzik says at the end of the episode, you changed, Ivar. Because Ivar has changed as a person. Ivar has changed a bit. He's a little bit more sentimental. He still is cruel. He could still be vicious, but there's a more level-headedness towards Ivar, which he does have. But he doesn't know where his ambition is going to lead him just yet. But the only thing I know for Ivar and his character. He very grew much this season and during this episode. And this was a final goodbye to Roose, which a lot of people say was good riddance, but I'm glad it involved Ivar's story. And in the second half, I enjoyed the second half of the Roose storyline more than the first. The first was a little bit iffy. I think they could have changed some things up, but to me, second half of the Roose storyline was good. So goodbye to the Roose storyline. Adios. Now, the other thing that's happened, the other most important thing is that Gunhild commits suicide. Yes, Gunhild, Bjorn's wife, commits suicide. Why? Because she's tired. As the seer foretold, like, don't listen to all the voices. And everybody's trying to want their own thing. Harold wants her for his queen, the woman he actually does truly love. Then Ingrid technically wants her to stay because she actually respects Gunhild and she actually enjoys Gunhild. Then there is Eric, who he loves Gunhild as well. He's very passionate about her. And he says that, you're married to King Harold. It doesn't mean we can't stop, hooking up. So Eric still has a thing for Gunhild too. But Gunhild's decision, and a lot of people may not like it, but it was a build-up. Because who is Gunhild's character really? She is a warrior. She is a shield maiden. She has a drive to fight for something greater than herself. That's who Gunhild is. That's who Gunhild always was. She seeks glory. She seeks this. Being married to King Harold and to have all this scheming and politics does not suit her. She's tired of this life. She's tired of going through this difficult stuff without Bjorn. And Bjorn may help her tolerate this stuff, but she's not into this backstage politics. She's not interested in this life. And she felt the only way that her life could truly matter is to be with Bjorn and to end her life. She basically swims out into the river naked and ultimately frees herself, and she drowns herself, basically. She doesn't arrive back. And it's ultimately a sacrifice towards Bjorn. And in many cases, some people may not like it, but I see no other version of Gunhild surviving this. I mean, what's Gunhild's going to do at the end? She's going to work in Kaka. She doesn't want to be queen. She never really truly wanted to be queen. She liked the inspiration in other people, but to me, she would get bored of it. To her, all the great heroes are long gone, and she wants to join them. She wants to be there in Kattegat now. And I respect her opinion, and I think out of the writer's staff, I think they build it up very nicely, so Gunhild dying is acceptable. Ingrid didn't want her to die, Eric didn't want her to die, Harold didn't want her to die, but Harold eventually accepted because it was her choice. So ultimately, I enjoyed this episode, and this was a very good episode. Not better than episode 11, but season 6, episode 15, all at sea. What y'all think, everyone? Did you like Ube as battle with Flatnose and the others? Did you like what happened with Gunhild? Did you like what happened with Oleg? Did you like what happened with Ivar? Let me know what y'all think, everyone. My name is Elise. For everybody. Bye-bye.